let us go see a cross-processing grade. Cross-processing consists of using a mix of development liquids on films not dedicated to that chemical composition. It is a technique used a lot in photography, which involves a very unpredictable result that brings strong color shifts to our film. What we are going to do is a kind of cross-processing. There is no absolute recipe. You can invent a little bit the chromatic shift and the change of image that you prefer. This is one of my favorite ones and is basically inspired by the technique Tony Scott used for the movie Domino. First, however, let us start with our shot and analyze what we have. The first problem is that we have a shot that is a little dark and not properly contrasted for this type of intervention. So first, we are going to use a very first node to regularize our shot. We are going to give it basically a significant gain increase to bring the curve to reach our whites, a sensitive gamma correction, and consequently a good lift adjustment. The aim is to have an image with a good dynamic range, because we need dynamic range to then be able to move on to the next steps. We add a serial node and start our cross-processing process. For the kind of cross-processing we want to do, we are going to first make a color shift, which is to go and bust the color balances. Specifically, we will push the lift significantly towards the cyan, the gamma towards yellow, and the gain towards orange, creating these greenish and very cold shadows. Consequently, the next step in cross-processing work is to add another serial node, where we work instead on contrasts. Boost a bit the shadows, raise a bit the gain, and eventually, as in this case, since the original image was quite dark, raise the gamma as well. The result is an extremely contrasted and oversaturated image. This is why we add a third serial node where we lower the overall saturation of the image. Not too much, it does not have to distort the chromatisms, but we need to prepare for the step that will come later. Obviously, we could have taken these steps all in the first node. I keep them separate mostly for the convenience and, above all, for the explanation. Now comes the real trick of cross-processing as I use it. We add another serial node and do two more corrections, not so much on primary wheels, but on log wheels. We repropose part of a tonal shift we already did, but within a logarithmic control. We increase the presence of cyan in the shadows, and we're going to increase the presence of warm tones in the highlights as well. I used logs because for their behavior as a function of the luminance curve, they create a little extreme value and some chroma clamping that is just what I look for in this particular type of look. The last intervention, through another serial node, is still at the log level and consists of the last contrast balance, leading the highlights and shadows and midtones to be exactly as we want them at the end of the grade. This becomes the shot in cross-processing, starting from what was the original shot, meaning a much warmer and shady situation, and with much more regular and standard color characteristics.